Hi, Miss Rua. Hi, friends. Now, today we're going to do a second lesson on singing Nhemamusasa, and I'm holding a different mbira, a special mbira. So this is different from the mbira that I normally use. It is a little lower pitched. This is about a G. So this is a G Nhemamusasa, and it was made by Garikayi Tirikoti. And I think this adds one element to how one chooses the mbira. So if you don't have a mbira, get whatever you can get. A person with a mbira is better than one without. And then if you can get one from a reputable mbira maker, people such as Matemai or Tirikoti or Mujuru or Bvure or the older ones or the younger ones, that's good if you get it from a reputable mbira maker. And then if you play with someone or you've got a teacher, it's easiest if you get a mbira that matches someone that you're going to play with or your teacher, so that you can at least duplicate the sound that he's making on his mbira. So all these are ways of trying to choose mbiras. If you've got groups that have done songs that you really like Muriekwarwizi, then you can look for that tune so that when you play the songs, they come out that way. If you like mbira zenarira, you kind of have to ask how they've arranged their mbiras. Now, what I'm doing is adding an additional element of whether the mbira matches your voice, or if it doesn't match, or it doesn't strain your voice. So what I've done is picked up this G mbira, because the part that I want to sing is closer to this mbira than the Nhemamusasa, the higher pitched Nhemamusasa that I was using. So this is just an intro on choosing the mbira. But there are additional ways of doing it. Suppose you playing a song and you can't sing from there, you could play the same notes from a lower pitch. That's one way of handling a mbira. If you observe closely what Thomas Mafumo does when he is performing, his mbira players have 3 sets of mbiras. And for one song, they know that they're going to pick up this mbira and then play this particular song, and it matches or it's appropriate for the way Thomas Mafumo sings. But this is just an intro. Now, on singing Nhemamusasa, what we did was simple. Just where to place the word Nhemamusasa, and then we developed that a little bit, added pereka, and then where you can add a few other words. The style that I want to teach today is slightly different. It is also perhaps even more ancient a style of singing. That is based on Huro and Mahon'era. Now, Huro and Mahon'era, that's humming. There's a slight difference between the two, but this is humming that accompanies playing the mbira. And then when you add words, you add special words, Madimikira, or idioms, words that whose meaning you can't decipher from the meaning of the individual words or the phrase. It is an idiom, it has a hidden meaning, it has a deeper meaning. So those are the 3 things that I want to do. I will start with the Huro and Mahon'era, and then what I want to teach is simple. You sing like ho hoi re re, hoi hoi re re, ho. So it's simple. Ho hoi re re, so the lesson part of it is where do we place that humming in the cycle of the mbira. So what you do is the first phrase you play it, you don't sing anything. So that's the first phrase. The second phrase, so when you play this note, this is where you start to sing. Oh, re, re. So, oh, re, re. This is where you start, and then you get to the third phrase. When you get here, then you do the second part. So it's oh, re, re. When you get there, oh, re, re. Oh. So this starts in the third phrase and then continues into the last phrase. So it's simple. Let me play one cycle instrumental, and then on the second cycle, the second phrase, I'll start singing, and then you'll see how it goes. So this is it. So you start from the second phrase, you continue into the third phrase, into the last phrase, and then the last part that I did. So when you start the cycle, there's also a Mahon'era part that you can do as you start the cycle, but it is a continuation of what we'll have done. Let me show it. So this part, this can be played in the first phrase, but you see the way I'm playing, I'm starting in the second phrase. If I add this part, it is as a continuation from the last cycle. But you can also skip it and use the first phrase to catch your breath, because otherwise, if you fill up everything, then it will mess up the singing if you don't have enough gaps to breathe. So this is it. This is where the Mahon'era, the humming, is placed. And then you started that basic part. If you can hit some higher notes, then you change your voice. If you can do fancy things with it, but at least that basic part and where to place it, starting from the second phrase, and that's an important part. Now once you can do that, then you start adding the idioms. Now I've already said idioms are short phrases which have deeper meaning, and there are many that have been sung that are in the recordings that are available. You just have to listen to the great Mbira singers such as Sekuru Gora. Amongst the contemporary ones, we've got people like Matemai. You've got people like Thomas Mapfumo. If you listen to Chitimandi Takure, it's one of the songs that was sung in this style, where there's some humming and then he throws in some phrases that look random, that sound random, but that's the style of singing. People like Hakurot Kwimude of Murekwarwizi were great singers, so you can pick a few. Now, so the short phrases are things like Chamkwenjere chia chakoromoka, the great mountain has fallen. It's things that Matemai sings like Nzenza Nenzira Zhinowanana. It's things like Munemvanandi Nopinda Runa. There are many things that you can throw in. But what you do, so the first phrase we're not singing. And then the second phrase, we do the humming. So, and then when you do the third phrase, this part of the third phrase, then you throw in now the lyric, the verbal phrase. So let me start, and then I'll do part of the humming, and then when I get to the third phrase, I throw in the idiom. So this is the first phrase. I'm continuing with the humming. Let me start. Dzenza nenzira zvinowanana, chamukwenjere chiya chakoromoka, oye oye, oyerere, regai ndife zvangu vagoti rakafa. Aerere, kare kwangu ndakashereketa mai mwana. Aerere, mbuya vangu. Oyerere, mune mvana ndinopinda runa mai mwana. Aerere, rweshanu ndinobuda nayo mbuya vangu. Oyerere, oyerere, oye. Nhemamusasa chaparadze mbira, mbuya uye. Oyerere, nhasi ndondorara kumbira, mbuya vangu. Oyerere, bhurukwa renzungu rabvaruka, iye oye. So this is pretty much it. You can start with the idioms that you listen and get from the Mbira vocalists that you know, but it also opens a space for you to start creating your own idioms, creating your own little phrases that you can throw into the music. So the important part of the lesson is that we're using the second phrase to, and when you get there, then you start your humming. Oh, ye re re, oh, ye re re, oh. And then the next step is when you get to the second phrase, you do oh, ye re re, and then instead of continuing the humming, then you throw in an idiom. Chamukwenjere chiya chakoromoka, oh yeah. And then there's a humming part that goes with the first phrase. But if you are a beginner, you kind of skip that to give yourself space to breathe. So this is a very ancient way of singing. Now, if I get back to the point that I started with, this is a G Mbira, and I think it doesn't strain me, at least when I sing the part. Let me change my Mbira. This is my regular Nhemamusasa. So Oh, erere. Oh, erere. Sekuru wangu. So I'll have to push my voice a little up to be able to sing. Alternatively, I'll have to use the bass voice, but the notes are too low for me to sing that comfortably. So this is important in the choice of the mbira. So this might be a sweet mbira, but for singing this particular version of the song, it is a little taxing or difficult for my voice. But what you can do is, instead of playing the Nhemamusasa from here, you could play it from here. But once you play Nhemamusasa from here, it's a different song. It's either Karigamombe or Mahororo, but you... So the pitches are lower because I'm playing from this L1 instead of L3. And therefore I could try to sing, playing from L1 here. So this is one way of adjusting, of changing the way you play songs to be able to sing. And if you listen, Nhemamusasa has been sung, it has been sung to Mahororo. But what I'm slowly hinting at is that Nhemamusasa and Mahororo are the same song, or we could say same family of songs. We could say songs with the same structure, that you could transpose lyrics from one song to the other. But for today, I think that's it. We've got an ancient way of singing that incorporates humming and then some idioms, and then I've said something about the choice of the mbira to match the voice. Thank you.